Hi, this is Kathie with Craft with Kathie. Thanks for joining me today. This project is going to be the My Whole Heart transfer, and I'm going to do that on this Bistro board. I used this a few days ago for Live the Life Imagined, but it is a rotating board, and I'm going to put My Whole Life on the opposite side. So let me unscrew this from the stand, and we'll get started. I think this is such a lovely sentiment, and I'm going to be using 3 different colored chalk paste. They're all shimmer paste. I'm going to be using the white and olive and a little bit of the scarlet, maybe, if I do a little painting. And here's the white shimmer. So this is dried hard. You know, it takes about 10-15 minutes to totally dry, actually, the chalk paste, and I could wipe it off, whatever. If I want to remove it from this board, what I would do is spritz it with some water, let it set a few, maybe a half a minute or so, and then just wipe it down with a paper towel, wipe it off. Or, and I could actually use my scraper, and you just spritz it and then scrape it with the scraper, and it comes off really quick. You don't even have to spray it with water. You could actually just use the scraper, and it's kind of leaves a powdery residue that you just remove. But I'm not going to remove this. I'm going to leave this on for one side, and then I'm going to chalk on the other side. So dual purpose board here, which I absolutely love. So I could have 2 different sentiments to inspire me throughout the day. And because this is on a chalkboard, I want to fuzz my transfer. These are brand new transfers. They're part of the new Spring Summer 2021 release. And all I have to do to put a little lint to diminish the adhesiveness of my transfer is to apply it to a fuzzing cloth. And I remove the transfer from its backing. Just peel it off. The backing has a shiny side and a dull side. I always am going to apply the adhesive side of the transfer back to the shiny side of the transfer for storage so that the adhesive doesn't stick to anything else. So I'm putting a little bit of lint deliberately on this transfer so it doesn't stick so tightly. And as you use your transfers, because they are reusable 8 to 12 times or more with proper care, as you use them, you will not have to fuzz quite as frequently, because the adhesive will start diminishing on its own. And even when your transfers, the adhesive is totally gone, you could still reuse them. You just have to be careful they don't slide around. But it's so great to have these beautiful transfers that give us such lovely definition. I'm going to make sure I don't get any air bubbles here, and just press it down. I have it centered. And then I'm going to use a squeegee to just apply my chalk paste. Chalk paste is actually made from chalk, goes on liquid, dries hard. And I'm going to squeeze this through the silkscreen portion of the transfer, or silkscreen obviously is made from silk. The rest of the transfer is made from vinyl. Need a little bit more here to get the H. Oops, I'm just moving around. And I want to make sure that I have good coverage, get every piece, fully cover that silk screen, and then go over it, remove any excess, put it back in the jar, save it, might as well, no sense in wasting it, and make sure there are no lines. Take a good peek at what I've done. And then I want to pull the transfer off, and when I lift the transfer, I want to either pull it from the top or the bottom, or the left or the right. Because our transfers are like a fabric, I never want to pull them on the diagonally, because pulling them on the diagonally might actually stretch the transfer. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Look at how nice and clear and easy, no weeding or anything like you need to do with vinyl. And now what I need to do to clean up this transfer, I could actually put it in a water bath, or water bath is actually the easiest, but being that this is such a small transfer, what I'm going to do is just spritz my surface a little bit, lay the adhesive side down on my mat, spray it with a little bit more water to loosen up the paste, and I'm going to take a disinfecting wipe and clean off the chalk. Actually, the reason I'm doing this is I want this to dry before I add the next piece to it. And I thought, what an excuse to show you how to clean your transfers. So this is relatively easy. I'm just using a circular motion to clean off the chalk paste with slight pressure. If your transfer gets some staining from your chalk paste because it's darker pigmented, then what you want to use is one of our board erasers to take that off. But actually, any staining does not affect the usability of the transfer. It's perfectly fine. So after I move the paste from the back, I'm going to go back over and clean it with my disinfecting wipe to remove any of the lint that's been applied to it. And then I want to put it somewhere to dry, sticky side up, and when it's dried, then I will put the backing back on it. So really taking care of your transfers is that simple. It doesn't take long at all. Your larger transfers are transfers, these are from 5 to 7 to I think 18 by 24. So the larger transfers obviously are a little bit smaller. My water bath is maybe like 12 by 12 square. Those I will put in the sink, or I actually sometimes throw them in the tub if I'm using the largest transfer. Stick it to the wall, the tile wall of the bathtub, and then just hit it with the spray. It works very easily and makes cleanup quick and simple. Our fuzzing towels have one side that's terry cloth, and that's the side that you fuzz on, and the other side is like the microfiber, or like a microfiber. And if I was erasing this side here and cleaning it up after I clean it with the paper towel, I would probably use the microfiber just to kind of like clean it off and make sure I get every little piece of chalk off of it. So that's what I use the microfiber for. Or here's another trick. If you need to speed up the drying of your transfers, take your transfer after you clean it, adhesive side up on the microfiber side, fold the microfiber in half and just squeeze out any excess moisture from it. See, it's already renewed the stickiness quite a bit there. And then just put it sticky side up again to dry. And this will have it drying in just a few minutes. And this looks like it's probably almost completely dry. So let me fuzz the next part. Like I said, this is a brand new transfer, so I have an idea in my mind whether it works quite as I'm envisioning it or not. We'll see. If it doesn't, no harm, no foul. All I have to do is clean off my board and do it again, or try something different. If you don't like it, if you don't like the color of the chalk, or you placed it crooked or anything else, easy to fix, easy to remedy. One of the reasons I absolutely love this product. So I'm going to place the other part, the For My Whole Life, on my surface, and I want to center it, and I do not want to overlap the word heart there, but I want to make sure that I get my F fully on this. Let's see, I could bring it down a little bit. This looks centered to me, I think. Maybe a little bit crooked, a little bit over, a little bit to the right. If I don't press it down, it's easy to still move it around a little bit. And then I don't want to press, I'm getting a little overlap here of the T in the bottom of my H. I'm not going to press that snugly down because I don't want to take the chance of pulling up any paste. My F is right down to the bottom, so that's fine. So I want to smooth it down. Make sure there's no air bubbles. Now, if you could see, there's some little circles with an X through them here. These are basically placement marks. If I was layering or putting on a different surface, I could do the one and then layer the other to align it. But I didn't think that was necessary for this, for my application anyway. Oh, I need a little bit more paste. And of course now I have too much, right? So I'm removing the excess once again and making sure there are no lines and putting the excess back in the jar. This is the white shimmer paste, and I think it is just so beautiful and sparkly. It's not quite glitter, but think of it as glitter without the mess. Now I'm going to lift this up and we'll take a look and see how it turned out. A little cleanup of my fingers first. What do you think? How about simple and easy? Now, our chalk paste and our transfers can be used on chalkboard, obviously, dry erase board, glass, mirror, wood. So if you're into making wood signs, consider this as an option for simple, quick projects. So let me cover up my white chalk paste, my white shimmer chalk paste. And can you see the shimmer? Does it show up at all? It's beautiful. It is just, it's going to look gorgeous in this sign. Just amazing. And what I'm thinking of doing is just doing part of this little vine and bud, like maybe up the side or even off the edge a little bit, and doing that with, I've got some olive shimmer paste, so I was thinking of that, and maybe even watercoloring in the buds or something. I don't know. I need that to dry before I go ahead with that though, so I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to actually, might as well make good use of my time, clean the other transfer. So you could just do it again. Spray your surface so it doesn't stick. Spray the top, or you could rinse this in a little water bath, whatever is the easiest for you. Take your disinfecting wipe or your board eraser, and using a circular motion, remove the chalk paste. Flip it over and remove the chalk paste from the back. I'm coming at you from the suburbs west of Chicago. If you want to take a moment and say hello and tell me where you're watching from, that would be cool. I hope everybody's warm and dry. I know we've had wicked weather throughout the U.S. It's been somewhat crazy year, just when we didn't think things could be any stranger than last year, right? So I've got all the paste off, and now I'm just removing any lint. And then as I want this to dry fairly quickly, I'm going to use the little trick with my fuzzing towel. Remember, place it sticky side up, adhesive side up, on the microfiber side. Cover it, squeeze out any extra moisture, and then put it aside, adhesive side up. Oh, it's getting sticky, to dry. So let's take a look at this. I don't think that's quite dry yet. It's going to take another minute or so, but I think I could put a little bit just on the edge. Well, maybe this way. No, I think I like it on this side. We'll see. It's going to be a little difficult though, because I'm going to actually be going over the word life, and I really don't want to do that until it's totally dry. So maybe I'll wait a moment, or maybe I won't even do that. Maybe I'll just do a little bit on the edge. I don't know. What do you think? Open to any suggestions and comments. Please feel free. Now, as you can see, as this is drying, you're going to pick up a little bit more of the sparkle. like somewhere underneath here I have another squeegee. Here we go. Wouldn't this make a lovely gift for an engaged couple? Or even as a bridal shower gift? What do you think? Reusable board. Remove it if they want and put something else on. Or do something on the other side. Have this on one side and use the other side for seasonal sentiments. Okay, I think this is dried. I don't want to cover the words. Let me move up so you can see what I'm trying to do here. I'm going to just press it down over the transfer part that I want to use, but I want to make sure that I'm not going to hit any words with my olive shimmer paste. Actually, I think I'm going to use a multi-tool instead of my little squeegee here, because I have a rather small section to get in and apply the paste to. Multi-tool is great. You could use the bottom portion as a smaller squeegee and the top of this top portion with the curve to clean your or mix up your chalk paste. Gets right underneath the lip of that jar, so it's great. Removing the excess. I'm right up against the edge of that Bistro board, the border of it, so I'm not able to remove all the excess totally from here. But I think I've got a nice smooth application for the buds and the vine and the leaves. And let me lift it and take a look. Yeah, pretty much what I was going for. I've got a little cleanup to do. I'll wait until it dries. Right here on the edge, the little border has picked up a little of the olive, but I think that'll work. And then I'm going to use a little watercolor in there to color my buds. Let me put this aside again to dry. And here we go. Rinse and repeat, right? You can see how fast this is going though, and how easy and simple it is. I've included the link to my website if you'd like to check out these products, along with a little shopping list. The shopping list does not include the paste. You'd have to add the paste of your choice. You might want to even consider our pellet packs, which are individual little envelopes of paste. If you're enjoying this video, please like, share, and follow. Thank you so much. Now, if you don't have a fuzzing cloth, adhesive side up, you could actually fuzz using a towel or a sweater or a pair of jeans, whatever, anything that you have that has a little length that it would apply to the transfer. It's totally fine to use. Okay, let me set this somewhere to dry. Cover up my olive shimmer paste. Now, what I wanted to do is maybe color in those buds a little bit. And I have a teeny bit of, or I'm going to take a teeny bit of scarlet shimmer and just put it on my mat with a tiny bit of my white shimmer, just a teeny bit. Mix it up because I'm really not using much at all here. Add a little bit of water to it because I want a more watercolor look. And scarlet shimmer and white shimmer make Kathie's favorite color, which is marvelous. Only with the shimmer. How do you like that one? So there's very little here, obviously. Oh, and I'm having a hard time getting it to mix up. And it's a little too wet, but that's okay. I'll just keep stirring it up until it starts drying up a little bit. Sometimes you need to add distilled water to your paste if they've gotten thicker, because it is chalk, made from chalk, and chalk will dry out. And you just add a little distilled water so it doesn't impact the pigment. You don't want to use tap water because the minerals in tap water could change the pigment and change the color. And if it's too wet or too runny like this, you just leave it with the cap off for a little bit, stir it up, let it dry out a little bit until it's the proper consistency. You want your paste to be the consistency of like a sour cream or yogurt type thing. And oops, I have a little red on here. So I'm going to see if I could just watercolor the buds a little bit, just applying a little bit of color in there. I might have to do 2 coats, just to give it a little more pizzazz. Obviously, you want to wait until your chalk paste has dried before you do this, because you don't want to cause it to run or bleed with what you've already applied. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need another little coat of that. This is very light and very faint. And I'm going to use the little edge of my wipe right now to get that little extra paste that's on the rim of my surface. Remove that. Okay, that's fine. I don't know if it's easy to see that or not with the lighting, but can you see the little buds have just a little hint of pink to them? Let me see if I can add just a little bit more. If I totally botch this up, all I have to do is just wet that one area and remove the flower and the vines. I don't have the steadiest hand, so I have to, I guess, put it down to work with it is probably the best thing for me to do. If you're enjoying this project, maybe you'd like a monthly subscription to our Chalk Couture Club. Every month we send you an 8.5 by 11 size transfer and 3 individual paste packets to complete a project, along with a PDF of instructions and a link to a video that gives you complete instructions to complete the project. It's a kind of a little envelope of creativity. Shipping is included, and it's $19.99 in the US. More info and a list of the perks of being a club member can be found at the website. I'll put the link in the comments below. What do you think? Sweet, isn't it? I'm going to put it back in its little stand. There's a little screw at the bottom that you just set it on, and then when it slides down, you position the finial and screw it into the hole on top. This is really the coolest board. And make sure I didn't get any other unintended chalk paste on the other side. Thank you for watching. I surely appreciate it. Have a wonderful life.